Hey dear beautiful people, I hope your day is going well, or I hope your day went well, and if your day didn't go well, I pray your day goes well from now till you fall asleep. Whatever that time may be, and if you're like me, that is probably the next day, that's like soon or something. I have no idea why I stay up that late, but yeah, I do. That's besides the point. So, for the past 2 weeks, we've been talking about sin and how our desires lead to sin, and how whatever is master over our lives will determine if we are sinning or not, or will determine if we sin and things like that. And whatever master over your life is, if it is not Jesus, or if it is any other thing, it is automatically sin. Whatever master is over your life. So yeah. So this week we are going to be talking about something else, but still relating, if that makes sense. Yeah. So today we'll be talking about addiction. Yeah. But it is not a specific addiction, something like that. It is like an addiction to sin, like to sin itself. Yeah. So I think the best way to liken this, no, that's not what I'm looking for, but the best analogy I can use for this is basically a toxic relationship. Yeah, whatever it may be, friendship or spouse or marriage, whatever it is. Yeah, marriage and spouse has this exact same thing, but yeah, or like dating relationship or whatever it is. Yeah, the best way to describe our addiction to sin and our relationship to sin is the same way I would describe a addictive relationship. Yeah. So I was talking to someone a few months back, someone who got put over my life for a specific period of time, to help me with a specific thing. Yeah. And we were talking one day, and he said something. It isn't something that is extremely profound or that is mind blowing. It's something that's actually very basic. Yeah. But for some weird reason, it stuck to me. Like, I always remember that every single time. He said something very basic. He just said, the heart knows how to love. Yeah. And that is normal. Everybody knows the heart knows how to love, because we love people and things like that. But for some weird reason, it just stuck to me, because in this scenario, the heart doesn't just love people. It loves things. Yeah, it doesn't just love things, because we love things. Some people love their phone and their console and things like that. Yeah, but hey, it's also talking about sin, that the heart has the ability to love sin, because the same way the heart can love every other thing, yeah, the same way the heart can love people, the same way it can love things, it's the same way the heart can love sin. And unlike when you love people, yeah, once you start loving sin, it is always toxic, even before you love sin and everything. Well, once you just start loving sin, it is always toxic. And the thing is, you might not even know that you love sin. Yeah, you might just be wanting to stop the particular sin or something like that. But for some weird reason, you find yourself going back to it. You find yourself still committing sin, or still committing a specific sin, even though you've been praying for months to quit that thing. Yeah, whatever it is, if it's a sin in general or if it's a specific sin, one of the reasons why it is hard to stop those things is because the heart loves it. Yeah, our heart loves those things, and like I said in the beginning, it's like a toxic relationship. Yeah, you would always go back to it. You know this thing is bad for you. You know committing this bad. You know sin in general is bad for you. You know committing this specific sin would slow down your spiritual growth, or to affect your spiritual life. But you still go back to it, and you might be like, why? It is because you love it. It's because your heart loves it, and your heart would always want to go back to it. Again, like a toxic relationship. Like a toxic relationship, yeah. Let's take two people that are dating per se. Yeah. This guy hits you, or this girl, she emotionally abuses you, but yet you still stay in that relationship. Yeah, even though you know it is bad, even though you know it is damaging to you, but because of you love this person, yeah, you still stay in the relationship. Is it good? No, but you still do it because you love them and you keep going back to them, even though they keep hurting you, but you keep going back. And it is the same way with sin. Yeah, you keep going back to sin because you love it, because your heart has found love in it. Yeah, you have found comfort in sin. Yeah, I think that's something that affects most people, finding comfort in sin, because sometimes when life is going bad or things are happening around you that isn't really making you happy, yeah, that's what I can use. Yeah, and that's really not making you happy, and things are hard, life is hard, everything is stressful and everything. You find comfort, and you want to find comfort in something. Yeah, you would more than likely find comfort in something you love, in someone you love. Yeah, and for most people, yeah, it's sin. They find comfort in sin because every other thing is not going well, but then they come and they just sin freely, and then it gives them comfort, and their heart loves that comfort. For some people, it might be doing drugs or taking or being an alcoholic, or for some people it might be watching porn or whatever it is. They just find comfort in it. It kind of takes their mind off whatever is going on in life, and then giving them this state of temporary comfort. Yeah, giving them this feeling of temporary comfort. And the thing about that is, once that time period passes, apart from the damage that you have felt, that you would feel from whatever it is, whatever sin you find comfort in, whatever it is, even if it is drinking, or if it's sex, or if it's drugs, or if it's porn, or whatever it is, after that temporary satisfaction, that temporary distraction, yeah, after the high has cleared and you have come back to where you were, yeah, you would return back to the place you were before you did whatever you did, yeah. And sometimes it is even worse. You even feel worse than you did before you had that temporary comfort. But the thing is, we love that temporary comfort, yeah. Most times we know that doing this thing will really make things worse. But just that temporary comfort, just that temporary love, that temporary affection that we feel from those sins, yeah, we love it, and we are willing to pay the price. That sounds good, but we are willing to pay the price of feeling worse after we find that comfort. We are willing to pay the price to just have that comfort, just for that short moment, yeah. And it's sad, yeah. It's saddening for everybody, for people involved in it, for you involved in it. It's sad for you because you know that this thing will wound you. You know this thing will wound you, but yet you still do it. And you might feel that, why did I use such words for sin, for finding comfort, for feeling loved by that sin, yeah. And the thing is, you'd to an extent, yeah, those finding comfort in those things, yeah, sometimes it feels like it is a person, yeah. Yeah, it feels like it's a person, and the person is actually there comforting you. I don't use the word reassuring, but you are finding comfort in that thing, and it is giving you not hope, but it is giving you something to what's the word I'm looking for? Not live for. But yeah, I think you get the point. Yeah. Finding comfort in just sin would always leave you broken. Yeah. Yes, it feels like love. Yes, it feels like love. Even though you might not know it feels like love, even though you might not want to acknowledge that those things might make you feel loved, but they do. Yeah. And I know it's weird using saying that kind of thing for something that we do by ourselves, or something that really isn't a person that you can say you feel love from. But the thing is, you do feel love from it, you do feel satisfaction from it, and it would always damage you, it would always wreck you. But I have been talking about how we love these things, but how do we learn to unlove them? The best way to learn to unlove it, to hate those things that you find comfort in, is to find love in another, to find comfort in another. And I'm not talking about finding love or comfort in another person, because you will just end up damaging that person, or end up damaging yourself and that person, because you would take all the baggage that you are meant to solve on your own. The reason why you were going to do sins in the first place, the reason why you were addicted to those sins in the first place, the reason why the things you were trying to distract yourself from, you would take it from those sins and put it on a person, and you would end up damaging that person in return. So I'm not saying you should leave those things and go and find love in somebody that you will just end up damaging, or they will end up damaging you, or both of you would end up damaging each other. I'm saying you should find love and comfort in someone else, in the person of Jesus, because that is the only true place you would ever find true comfort, and you would ever find true love. The only true place that you would go there and you won't just feel a temporary love, a fading love, something that will just give you temporary comfort. You would actually have eternal comfort in Him. And you'll be like, sorry, something distracted me. Like, how do I love more? That I love these things. But how do I love Jesus more? How do I find comfort in Him? Or you might be saying, I already love Jesus, but I still struggle with these things. I am still addicted to these things, It's a gradual process, for people that love Jesus already, or are already Christians, but they still struggle with sins. It's a gradual process. You cannot expect to have been struggling with something for years, for months, for 5, 6, 10 years, and expect it to just stop overnight. It's a gradual process, and the more you look towards Jesus, the more you love Him, the more you want to be with Him, the more you find comfort in Him, the less you will love those other things. So the more you fill your heart with good things, with the things of the Spirit, with the things of the Lord, with the word of God, the words of God and things like that, the more you would learn to hate those other things. Because once you start to hate them, you would start to not love them. Hate love. You start to not love them, and you would stop doing them. And for people that are wondering how you would start loving God, how you would start loving Him, it's just a thing of just accepting Him, because He has loved you already. It's just waiting for you to accept that love. It's just for you to just accept it, and for you to just believe that He actually loves you, and that is all it really takes. That is all that really matters. And I pray and I really hope that you accept that love, and that you find comfort in the person of Christ, and you would learn that He loves you, and you would learn to love Him more, and you would grow more in Him. Amen. And with that, we have come to the end of today's video episode. And you would see me again next week. Peace.